The one absolute easiest way to burn fat. A doctor's deep dive into fat metabolism and practical weight loss. Understanding fat loss beyond myths. Welcome. If you've ever struggled with losing weight or wondered why fat seems so stubborn despite dieting and exercise, this video is for you. I'm Dr. Wands Wondered by Comslations. Deep Dive, a physician and researcher with over 20 years studying human metabolism and fat biology. Today, we're not just going to talk about calories in and calories out or demonize certain foods. Instead, I will guide you through the science of how your body stores and burns fat, the natural systems evolved over millions of years. Understanding this is the true key to effortless, sustainable fat loss. Why? Because many people think fat gain is about eating too much fat or lacking willpower. That's simply not accurate. Fat gain is about how your body manages excess energy regardless of the food source and the hormones involved in that process. I will explain the critical role of insulin, how energy is stored and released, and why this cycle matters. You'll also hear a real-life story showing how this knowledge transforms lives. By the end of this video, you'll be equipped with clear, science-backed strategies that actually work, no gimmicks, just biology. Fat storage, the body's survival strategy. To begin, let's debunk a common myth. Eating fat doesn't automatically make you fat. Fat is one of several types of fuel your body uses, including carbohydrates and proteins. All provide energy, measured in calories. Your body's goal is survival, so it stores excess energy to prepare for times when food is scarce. Fat is the ideal storage form because it packs the most energy per gram, about 9 calories, compared to 4 calories per gram for carbohydrates or proteins. When you eat more calories than you burn, your body stores the surplus as fat. This process is ancient and fundamental, enabling humans and animals to survive famines. Imagine you drink a milkshake with 0 calories, but your body only burns 300 calories in the next few hours. That leftover 700 calories doesn't disappear. Your body converts it into fat to save for later. This cycle of eating, storing energy, fasting, and burning fat has been working since life began. Fat storage is not a sign of failure or weakness, it's your body's way of protecting you. Insulin, the gatekeeper hormone. Insulin is the hormone responsible for controlling fat storage. After eating, insulin levels rise to help transport glucose, blood sugar, into your cells. This glucose fuels your metabolism, but when in excess, insulin triggers fat synthesis and storage. Think of insulin as a key that unlocks your cell's doors. Without this key, glucose can't enter cells and remains in the bloodstream. In type 1 diabetes, the body cannot produce insulin. Despite high blood sugar, patients often lose weight and cannot store fat unless insulin is supplied artificially. Insulin is not a villain, it's essential for life. Problems arise when insulin is chronically elevated due to poor diet and lifestyle, causing insulin resistance. This condition disrupts normal fat metabolism and leads to excessive fat storage. Balancing insulin through diet, activity, and other lifestyle factors is critical for healthy fat metabolism. The balance of energy intake and expenditure. Weight gain and fat accumulation happen when energy intake consistently exceeds expenditure. This surplus energy is stored as fat. However, it's not just about calories, but also about how and when you consume food. Frequent snacking, high sugar intake, and processed foods spike insulin and promote fat storage. Conversely, controlled meal timing and whole foods allow insulin to cycle naturally, facilitating fat burning during fasting periods. Physical activity also plays a crucial role by increasing energy expenditure and improving insulin sensitivity, making it easier to burn stored fat. Sarah's story, a practical example, to ARC. Sarah, a 45-year-old teacher, struggled with weight despite eating healthy and exercising sporadically. Her meals were frequent and carbohydrate heavy, causing her insulin to remain elevated throughout the day. After understanding her metabolic profile and insulin dynamics, Sarah switched to whole foods, reduced meal frequency, and increased physical activity. Over 6 months, she lost 30 pounds, improved her energy, and reduced her insulin levels. Sarah's success shows that knowledge and small changes, not extreme diets or willpower, can lead to lasting fat loss. Practical tips to optimize fat burning. Choose whole, Unprocessed foods. Vegetables, lean proteins, nuts, and natural fats stabilize insulin. Limit refined sugars and processed carbs. These cause insulin spikes and fat accumulation. Manage meal timing. Intermittent fasting or scheduled eating lowers insulin and promotes fat burning. Stay active. Regular aerobic and resistance training improves metabolism and insulin sensitivity. Prioritize sleep and stress management. Hormones like cortisol also affect fat storage. Hydrate adequately. Water supports metabolism and helps control hunger. Conclusion: empowerment through understanding. Fat is not the enemy. It's a biological tool designed to keep you alive during tough times. The easiest way to burn fat is to work with your body's natural systems, balancing insulin, eating wisely, and moving consistently. Remember Sarah's journey. By respecting her metabolism and hormonal balance, she achieved sustainable fat loss without deprivation or guilt. You have the power to take control by understanding your body's signals and making informed choices. Science backs this approach. Trust your biology, and fat loss will follow.